This is Old Faithful at Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, the most famous geyser in the world. I'm gonna see it go off quite a few times. First is about 6:30 in the morning, and I'm on the big balcony of the historic Old Faithful Inn. Now walking out onto the boardwalk where most people view it, it does get very packed on here throughout the day during summer, so Old Faithful does require some serious patience for a good spot. Now I'm gonna head into the Old Faithful Visitor Education Center. This was the first geyser in the park to receive a name during the Washburn-Langford-Duane expedition of 1870, and it was named because its eruptions were so predictable. When the military used Yellowstone in the 1880s, General Sheridan's men would often shove their linen garments in Old Faithful, and then the eruption would do their laundry for them. This is a fragment of Pork Chop Geyser, which basically combusted in 1989, but you can see the real silica-lined inside of a geyser. The visitor center does bring up that really this is one big supervolcano, which the early visitors and rangers had no clue of at the time. It can go off any time and destroy life and habitation of like half the world. On the left are siliceous branches which form in places with hydrothermal vents, and some other minerals like geyserite and travertine. As Old Faithful has been the star attraction of the world's first national park, people have been visiting for over 100 years, and there's been lots of Old Faithful merch. The eruption of Old Faithful can shoot anywhere at its peak from 106 feet to 185 feet, though it's usually in the 140 feet range. And these eruptions can last up to 5 minutes. more than 1 million eruptions have been recorded over the years, Old Faithful is not connected to all the other nearby geysers and geothermal features of the Upper Geyser Basin. It is off on its own over here, so that's why it has regular eruptions. Old Faithful usually erupts every 44 minutes to 2 hours, and it's done so without fail during this century. This is the Old Faithful Lodge, which is not the Old Faithful Inn. The lodge used to be a whole bunch of old cabins, but was consolidated into one big complex by Gilbert Stanley Underwood in 1926. There's a big window with a view of Old Faithful from the inside. Here's a wood carving of a bear. I wish this was still in here. This is an antique sign for Larry's Lunch Station and Museum. Because Yellowstone is a constantly changing environment, it is very possible that Old Faithful can stop erupting one day. One big earthquake could change its timing or stop it altogether. There are a few hot springs on the Old Faithful boardwalk, like Star Spring. And up there is the Upper Geyser Basin, which I have a separate video on because it is very extensive and has a lot of cool features. So I found something I didn't know about. If you walk up this hill a little bit, you can get a really good elevated view of Old Faithful. And here is the view of Old Faithful from above. Never been up here. This is pretty neat. You can see the Old Faithful Inn. Wish it would go off right now. That'd be a pretty neat view. Please check out my other Yellowstone National Park videos, and thanks for watching.